everyone. So we are starting off with a new topic in ecology, and that is interactions in ecology. So first of all, let us discuss that what is interaction. So as we know that in an ecosystem, the organisms are interdependent on each other for the various resources. For example, we can consider this as species A and this as species B. So both of these species must be interacting with each other in order to survive in a better way in this ecosystem. So interaction means that the members of a community are interdependent on each other, and this interdependency can be for food, for space, for reproduction, and for the protection. And if they are interacting, so they must be affecting each other in one way or the other. So if there occurs a direct impact, so we will say that there is direct interaction, and if there occurs indirect impact, so we would call it as indirect interaction. That is, both of the species A and species B are interacting but in a indirect manner. So a biological interaction, it is the effect that a pair of organisms that are living together in a community have on each other. That is, consider this is species A and this is species B. So a biological interaction can be defined as the effect that these both species as a pair which lives together having on each other. This effect is known as the interaction, or we can call it as biological interaction. And the next point to remember is that they can be either of the same species or of the different species. So let us move forward and discuss the types of interaction. So we have three types of interaction, that is positive interaction, negative interaction, and neutral interaction. In a nutshell, positive interaction simply means that when two species are positively impacting each other, that is, when species A and species B are interacting together, the resultant of this impact is positive for both the species. And in case of negative interaction, species A and species B are interacting, but the resultant of this interaction is negative. That is, it is not beneficial for either one or both of the species. We will understand the subtypes of all of them in detail in the subsequent slides. The third type of interaction is neutral. That is, when species A and species B are interacting with each other, the result of this interaction is neutral. That is, there occurs no positive or no negative impact on any of the members of this interaction. So first of all, let us discuss about the positive interaction and its type in complete detail. So we have three types of positive interaction, that is mutualism, commensalism, and protocorporation. We will understand about each of the subtypes in detail. So the first one is mutualism. So mutualism in simple terms is known. So mutualism in simple terms can be called as that when species A and species B are mutually benefiting each other, and there occurs a permanent and obligatory type of interaction. That is, permanent means that both the species A and species B are in a permanent relation with each other, and obligatory means that both the species A and species B are supposed to get interacted during their lifetime in order to complete their life cycle. So we can say that mutualism describes the ecological interaction between two or more species where each species has a net benefit. That is, the resultant benefit of this type of interaction, that is mutualism, is positive and positive for each of the members. And mutualism is the most common type of ecological interaction. And this type of interaction is close and it is often permanent and obligatory contact that is essential for the survival of both. Obligatory means that it is supposed to happen, and if this interaction does not happen, then any of the member or both of the member would not be able to complete their life cycle and survive in that environment. And lastly, in this type of interaction we have physiological exchange, that is there occurs a exchange of the physiological characters. We will understand this by the example of lichens in the subsequent slides, and this type of interaction is denoted by positive and positive symbol, which symbolizes that both species A and species B are getting benefited. So the first most common example of mutualism is the pollination by the animals, which is very common in nature, where we can see a bee pollinating a flower by feeding on the pollen grains and the nectar on the flower. So in this type of interaction, the bee and the plant are two members, and the bee is getting the food, that is the nectar, and the pollen grains are the food of the bees, and in exchange the plant is getting pollinated. That is, when this bee would go to the next flower and it would sit there, the pollens of the previous flower would get transported or would get transferred to the second flower, and hence the pollination would occur. Why this interaction is obligatory? Because if the bees would not sit on the flower, then the flower would not get pollinated and no further process in the nature can be observed. Hence, pollination is a type of mutualism, and this is an obligatory type of interaction, as it is very important for the ecosystem to work properly. The next most common example of mutualism is lichens. And what are lichens? So lichens is a interaction of the algae and the fungi all together, and the algae and the fungi make a matrix like structure, means a web like structure. So this is how a lichen looks like, where the fungal hyphae and the algal cells can be seen together, and as a result there occurs a complete formation of lichen. So we can see that in the lichens we have a physiological exchange where the hyphae of the fungi are intermingled with the algal cell and thus forming a matrix like structure. So here also we have close, permanent and obligatory relationship. Why? Because both the members of the lichen, that is the algae and the fungi, cannot complete their life cycle by living in individual environments. So this is an obligatory, permanent and close type of relationship. And in this interaction, the fungus provides moisture and minerals to the algae, and the algae in return manufactures food for itself and also for the fungus. So as a result of this interaction, both the fungus and the algae are getting benefited. So it is a type of mutualism. So let us discuss about the second type of positive interaction, and that is commensalism. So in simple terms, in commensalism we have two species, species A and species B, interacting with each other, and as a result of this interaction, one species is getting benefited and the other has no effect, that is it has zero effect. It could be the other way round also, but one species must be getting the benefit of this interaction. So in this, one species is benefited and there occurs no effect on the second species or the second members, that is there occurs no harm or no gain. We can represent commensalism by positive and zero, that is one species is getting benefit and the other have no effect. So in this, the population live together without entering any kind of physiological exchange. So as in the previous case of mutualism, where there was physiological exchange, but in case of commensalism there occurs no physiological exchange, but the members of the population still live together and get benefited. So the most common example of commensalism is epiphytes. And what are epiphytes? The plants that grow on other plants. For the most common example is the orchids. Orchids are the plants that grow on the stem and the branches of other plants, and these epiphytes are using other plants only for support, and they do not require any other food or water from their support system. They are only using it for the support so that they can climb up or they can be grown on a higher height. So we can see, for example, consider species A and species B. Species A is the orchid and the species B is the plant on which it is growing. So orchid is getting the benefit, but the plant is neither getting harmed nor it is getting any benefit. So this is a case of commensalism. The second most common example of commensalism is lianas. So lianas are the vascular plants that are rooted into the ground and they maintain their erectness or the sturdiness of their stem by making the use of other objects as support. So the only difference between the lianas and the epiphytes is that lianas are rooted but epiphytes are not rooted, but they grow on the branches of other stems. Lianas are also using other plants as their or other objects as their support and not for any other resource. Hence, this is also a type of commensalism. The next subtype of positive interaction is the protocorporation. So protocorporation is a non-obligatory mutualism. So we can say that it is a subtype of mutualism, but as mutualism is obligatory for both of the members to survive, in protocorporation it is not the case. That is, species A and species B can live together and get benefit, but if they are not living together, it would not harm or it would not have any negative effect on their life cycle. So it is a non-obligatory type of mutualism. That is, it is not essential for the survival of either population or either members of this interaction. And this protocorporation can be symbolized as positive because both species A and species B are getting benefit of this interaction. The common example of protocorporation is the sea anemone that is attached to the shells of the hermit crab. In the picture, we can see that on the shells of the hermit crab, a sea anemone is attached. So, in this type of interaction, the hermit crab gets protected from the enemies because of this structure being attached or being placed on its shell, and the sea anemone is carried by the crab to the new feeding site. So both of the members of this interaction, that is the sea anemone and the hermit crab, are getting the benefit. But the most important point to remember is that this interaction is not helping them from survival. That is, it is not obligatory for their survival. Or we can say that even the sea anemone and the hermit crab, if living away from each other, can complete their life cycle without each other, but because they are living together, they get a additional benefit. So that is why this interaction is non-obligatory mutualism, because both of the members are getting benefit, but this interaction is not essential for their survival. So with this, we are done with the interaction, the positive interaction and its subtype in detail, and in the next video we would be covering the negative interactions and its subtypes in detail. So if you like this video, please do like, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be coming up very soon with the next video as well. So thank you so much for watching.